In the opening scene of the movie, a white sheet-covered corpse is wheeled into a morgue by Powell, a hospital orderly. The body is briefly uncovered, revealing a beautiful young woman named Anna, a renowned actress in Spain. Powell discreetly takes a picture of the corpse using his phone. Anna's sudden death at a party earlier that night has left her fans in shock, and there is a growing curiosity about the cause of her untimely demise. Powell shares the photo of Anna with his two friends, Ivan and Javi. Excited by the opportunity to see Anna's body, the duo rushes to the hospital to request a viewing. Powell obliges, and the two friends are taken to the morgue, where they see Anna's lifeless body lying on the table. In the room, we see the three men standing over Anna's corpse. Both Ivan and Javi are astounded by the sight before them, but Ivan takes it a step further and reaches out to touch Anna's body. Javi immediately tells Ivan off, but it's clear that both men are struggling to resist their own desires for the beautiful woman. Despite Javi's reservations, Ivan suggests that they take advantage of Anna's body for their pleasure. He argues that they have a unique opportunity to touch one of the world's most famous women and rationalizes that it won't matter because she's dead. However, there's a disturbing catch: Ivan isn't sure if it's even possible to engage in such an act with a deceased body. This is when Powell intervenes, revealing his disgusting knowledge that it is entirely possible to have intercourse with a dead body, as long as they use saliva as a lubricant. He goes on to boast about his past actions with corpses in the hospital, emphasizing that nobody ever checks on the bodies. Ivan is emboldened by Powell's revelations and becomes even more determined to have some alone time with Anna's corpse. Powell readily agrees to join in, but Javi is still hesitant and tries to stop them. However, Ivan pays no attention to Javi, which frustrates him. Eventually, Javi leaves the room, and Powell follows after him, leaving a gap in the door. While outside, Powell watches as Ivan violates Anna, showing no remorse for his actions. Ivan even suggests that Javi should pretend that Anna is still alive to use her body as he did. Javi is deeply repulsed by his friend's behavior. Meanwhile, Paul returns to the room to have his turn with Anna's body. However, as he violates her lifeless body, he suddenly realizes that her eyes are open in terror, and she is alive. Paul screams in shock, scaring himself and awakening Anna from her paralyzed state. Javi and Ivan walk into the morgue to investigate the reason behind Powell's scream and are left shocked and horrified at the sight of Anna being alive. While Javi wants to inform the authorities, Powell and Ivan are hesitant to do so, as they have already committed a heinous crime against her. Amidst the chaos, Javi tries to calm Anna down by offering her a glass of water. While Powell and Ivan are panicking, Javi tries to convince his friends to seek help. However, they are paralyzed with fear, afraid they will end up in jail if they do so. Their conversation is abruptly cut short when they hear the approaching footsteps of another orderly entering the morgue with a body. In a hurry, they cover Anna's body with a white sheet and hide in the adjacent room. The orderly enters and wheels the new body away, unaware of the hidden men. Anna attempts to scream for help, but the orderly's earphones are blasting music, drowning out her voice. She feels trapped and unable to escape from the morgue. Eventually, the orderly leaves and Anna is left alone in the room with her captors. Meanwhile, the men responsible for her plight return to the morgue, still arguing about what to do. Javi insists on seeking help, while Powell and Ivan fear the police and the repercussions of their actions. They are convinced that Anna will report them. Tensions rise as Javi forcefully tries to take the cart with Anna's body, but Ivan refuses to let go. The two men confront each other, ready for a fight. To their surprise, they discover that the door is locked, and they are trapped with Anna inside. Powell reveals that he had forgotten his keys outside, and they are stranded in the morgue with no way out. At this point, Javi begins to scream for help, prompting Ivan to get into a fight with him. The altercation ends in tragedy when Ivan accidentally lands a fatal blow on Javi, causing him to collapse to the floor. Now both Powell and Ivan are panicking because they have committed another crime. Although Javi is still alive, he is quickly losing blood, and they fear the worst. Powell thinks quickly and grabs a towel to try to stem the bleeding. In a desperate attempt to save their friend's life, they drag Javi to the adjoining room and prop him up against the wall. As Javi's consciousness flickers, Ivan apologizes for what he has done and explains that he never meant to hit him that hard. The situation is tense, and both Powell and Ivan are fraught with worry. They know they have to leave and seek help, but they cannot shake the guilt they feel. As the night drags on, the situation in the morgue goes from bad to worse. Another employee unexpectedly enters the room, interrupting Powell's illegal activities. Quick on his feet, Powell concocts a story about being locked inside the morgue all alone, hoping to throw the other employee off his trail. However, the curious employee is not easily dissuaded and expresses a desire to see Anna's corpse. Powell realizes the gravity of the situation and quickly ushers the employee out of the morgue through the now open door. Meanwhile, in the adjacent room, Javi's condition is rapidly deteriorating, and Ivan frantically attempts to revive him. Unfortunately, it's too late, and Javi has already passed away. After successfully leading the other employee out of harm's way, Paul returns to the room to find Ivan distraught and Javi dead. The reality of the situation hits them both hard as they realize the severe consequences of their actions. They understand that they could face life in prison for what they have done tonight. As tension in the room rises, Yvonne comes up with a sinister plan to dump Javi's lifeless body outside. But just as they are about to put the plan into action, Anna speaks up. She pleads with them, promising that if they free her, she won't tell a soul about what they did. Paul is quick to believe Anna, but Ivan is far more skeptical. He insists that Anna cannot be trusted and tells Paul that they must ensure she doesn't leave the place alive. Paul protests, arguing that Ivan was the only one who killed Javi, but Ivan reminds him that he was in the room when it happened, making him an accomplice in the eyes of the law. As the group argues in the other room, Anna musters the strength to stand up. She makes her way over to Javi's body, grabs his phone, and manages to contact her father for help. As Yvonne and Paul make their return, they are filled with a sense of impending misfortune. They seem to have reached a point of no return. Anna informs them that she has only informed her father that she's awake, so they can still set her free without any consequences. Despite everything, when the phone rings, Paul hastily tells Anna's father that he has the wrong number. Feeling hopeless, they decide to take Anna back to the morgue. However, their fears get the better of them, and in a moment of madness, Ivan attempts to strangle Anna. But he quickly comes to his senses and devises a plan. He orders Paul to tie up Anna while he goes to get a large garbage bin which they can use to dispose of Javi's body. Next, we find Paul has gotten hold of a roll of gauze to tie up the poor victim, despite her pleas to be let go. Paul is resolute in his decision to follow Yvonne's orders. Anna, however, tries to reason with him, informing him that Yvonne would pin the blame on him and reveal that he was the one who strangled Javi. She begs Paul to release her, promising not to reveal his involvement. Although torn between conscience, Paul continues to follow Ivan's orders and ties Anna up, leaving her alone momentarily. Remarkably, Anna manages to crawl her way out of the morgue, even though her legs are not functioning correctly. Meanwhile, Ivan returns to find that Anna has escaped, and he and Paul go searching for her as she finally manages to evade them. Anna finally makes it to the elevator. She gets inside, and the doors are about to close when Yvonne opens them at the last moment, dragging her back inside. The ruthless creature informs Paul that they need to end this tonight by killing Anna. He believes that this is the only way to ensure that their mistakes won't ever see the light of day. Powell confronts Ivan about strangling Javi, but Ivan asks him to trust him instead of Anna. He forces Paul to focus on the matter at hand. The two men start to discuss how they should kill her. They consider using pills, but they want a method that won't leave any marks and won't be detectable during an autopsy. In a nearby closet, Ivan finds some sheets and hands them to Paul. The two men then proceed to press the sheets on Anna's face to suffocate her. After a while, Anna stops struggling, implying that she has died. After this, they retrieve the corpse of Javi from the adjoining room. Ivan brings out the garbage bin, which they use to stash Javi's corpse. Ivan then tells Paul that he will dispose of the garbage bin while Powell will return Anna's body to the morgue lineup. However, before doing so, Paul has to make sure Anna looks the same as she did when she arrived at the hospital earlier that evening. He starts scrubbing Anna's body with a sponge to remove the marks she sustained while trying to escape. Meanwhile, Ivan pushes the garbage bin outside, leaving Javi's body on the side of a dump yard. Paul finishes cleaning up Anna's body and covers her with a white sheet. He then returns the cart to its original position. Powell grabs his backpack and prepares to leave, but he walks back to Anna's body. He pulls back the sheet and whispers to her that she has to keep playing dead to escape. Thus, Paul intentionally did not strangle her hard enough to kill her, creating an opportunity for her to escape when he and Ivan eventually leave. Later, Ivan inspects Anna's body, and although she's pretending, Ivan is not alert enough to register it. The two friends then leave as they make their way to the elevator. Ivan suddenly remembers that he has left his ID behind. Paul tries to convince him not to go back, but Ivan insists. Upon returning to the morgue, Ivan is shocked to find Anna in the middle of dressing in a hospital gown. He quickly realizes that Paul had betrayed him and helped Anna pretend that she was dead. Angry and betrayed, Ivan brutally attacks Paul, and chaos ensues once again. But amidst the chaos, Anna appears with a pair of surgical scissors. In a swift motion, she stabs Ivan repeatedly until he dies, thus saving Paul's life. Relieved that they have eliminated their attacker, Paul suggests they leave the scene. However, Anna's desire for revenge is not yet satiated. With a blank look on her face, she turns on Paul and stabs him too. Anna is determined to make Paul pay for what he did to her. She may have accepted his help in the end, but he is also the reason for the trauma that she experienced that night. The movie ends with Anna slumped on the floor, finally getting her revenge against the people who had defiled her.